most exemplary people of YouTube, and thank you for joining the channel today. I want to talk to you about another one of my favorite books, and that is a book called Look, Homeward, Angel by Thomas Wolfe. And I wanted to go back a little bit in time to explain how I actually came upon this book. And it wasn't through my studies as many books or just general talk within society and literary communities. As you know, many of the things that we enjoy in life tend to overlap. We find that the music, the literature, the art that we like all has some kind of common thread or common theme, whether that be something that deals with immigration or a search for identity or our heritage or some kind of rebellion against something, or just generally a worldview. And anyway, I happened to, over a decade ago, about 12 years ago, something like that, purchased the latest Bad Religion album at the time, which was an album called The Empire Strikes First. And one of the songs on this album is called The Quickening. And The Quickening was one of those tunes that immediately caught me with its lyrics and with its melody. And it had this absolutely beautiful line: "Oh, lost and by the wind griefed ghost, please come back to me again." And I fell back and thought, wow, what a line this is. So luckily in the modern era, we have the great ability to be able to just type into the search engine of our choice something that we're looking for. And so I typed in this line to try to find out where it came from. And lo and behold, it was from Look, Homeward, Angel by Thomas Wolfe. And a couple of years later, Bad Religion released another album, and it had a song on there called Devil in Stitches. And one of the lines in Devil in Stitches is, "Look, homeward, angel, from that rumble seat. I can strum twice and make it all go away." But anyway, by the time I had discovered Devil in Stitches, I had already read Look, Homeward, Angel, and I would describe it as a glorious autobiographical novel, the first novel of Thomas Wolfe, and probably what I would consider as one of the great American novels. At the time that I first discovered it and the first time that I read it, I was living in England, in the UK, with this great fascination of American geography, literature, music, and so on and so forth. And the beautiful thing about Thomas Wolfe, and this is something that I discovered as I started to read his other works, his extremely lengthy works, is that they really do encompass the American spirit. And there's a lot of travel around America, which is one of the things that I love in lyrics from music and the words of literature. One of the reasons that I love Jack Kerouac's On the Road so much. And later, as I was about to embark on my move to the United States, and I was reading Thomas Wolfe, and I was reading about this journey that was taking him from New York to Boston on the train. And it was really, I'd never been to Boston, and I was about to move to Boston, and I was learning about it from a book written all those years before. Look, Homeward, Angel was published in 1929 and serves as a coming-of-age novel, starting with Eugene Gant, who is or Eugene Gant in the American accent, I suppose, beginning with his grandfather, moving on to his father, going through a brief history of their love and life, and moving on eventually to his life. And another thing that I love about it so much is that it's based on things like being involved in the literary world and trying to write and being part of a literary magazine and newspaper and so on, and also dealing with the pain that comes with lost love and heartache. And the novel is set in a fictionalized town based on Thomas Wolfe's hometown of Asheville, North Carolina, and the town in the book is called Altamont. And if you're not captured by the very opening page of part 1 of the novel, then I don't know what you are captured by. And I just wanted to read the introductory passages. A stone, a leaf, an unfound door, of a stone, a leaf, a door, and of all the forgotten faces. Naked and alone we come into exile. In her dark womb we did not know our mother's face. From the prison of her flesh have we come into the unspeakable and uncommunicable prison of this earth. Which of us has known his brother? Which of us has looked into his father's heart? Which of us has not remained forever prison pent? Which of us is not forever a stranger and alone? O waste of loss, in the hot mazes lost, among bright stars on this most weary unbright cinder lost. Remembering speechlessly, we seek the great forgotten language, the lost lane end into heaven, a stone, a leaf, an unfound door. Where, when? O lost, and by the wind grief ghost, come back again. And what I love about Thomas Wolfe's style is frequently you will have that punctuated sentence with 3 nouns. Repeatedly throughout the book you will find this, and I actually discovered that this is another thing that had influenced some of my favourite music. Bad Religion again, and I think particularly of their song Generator. Like a rock, like a planet, like an atom bomb. And here, a stone, a leaf, an unfound door. You'll see it repeatedly throughout the book, and it's really beautiful in my opinion. The book was originally titled O Lost, and then later was renamed in the editing process to Look Homeward Angel, the classic as we know it today. When the book was first published, it was received with great critical acclaim. It was really considered to take the literary world by storm and to be a phenomenon. But as time went on and Thomas Wolfe really released some of these very heavy, lengthy autobiographical novels, his work became known as kind of unorganized autobiographical scribblings, which for me is a shame. I kind of like that. And again, this is the beauty of literature. Each one of us interprets it our own way, and each one of us finds within it what we may be looking for and what we want to find. Anyway, get out there, get hold of Look Homeward Angel by Thomas Hardy, and if you've already read it, let me know what you think of it in the comments. And if you are going to read it, let me know in several weeks or several months when you have read it what you think of it. Thank you for joining today, and enjoy the world of literature and beyond.